Yeah, hello guys, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, mm, yeah, and I have pasted a message from coordinator. You can see the message regarding a sample question in Moodle. Okay, you can check if that is working fine. Okay, yeah, so there were some problems reported by some of you people that you don't get the correct display due to this problem of shifting from LaTeX to this is the problem of the compiler basically from LaTeX symbols to the PDF version or the correct version of it. So you can check whether your system is working fine with the sample problem. And if there is any issue, you should write to Professor Buddhananda Banerjee regarding the problem. First, try to sort it out. If it's not sorted out, okay, then you should write to him. Okay, so let us start today. So as we started talking about towards the end in the previous lecture, that we want to now consider functions of random variables. Actually, we have seen some examples. What do we mean by this? So functions of random variables, let's say, or of a random variable. So basically what is happening here, so you have, let's say, a function, any function. Okay, so let's say if it's a function, so say f(x) equal to some x square, or it could be some log x, any function. Okay, maybe mod x, any function. So you consider a function and then consider a random variable like x. So what is a random variable? So yeah, so this is an association for a sample point to numbers, or if you have, even if you have some numbers as, let's say, outcome of of a uh, let's say, what, you toss it, not a coin, but for coin you will get head and tail, then you can associate numbers with it. But let's say you can throw a die, okay, and then you can see what is the possible outcome, then those are numbers. Okay. Yeah, so once you have that, let's say, so you have some either a set of sample points which are not numbers, or you have numbers, whatever it is. Now, of course, we can talk about range space, right? We talked about the range space of the random variable. Now what we are saying is introduce a, suppose the points are, okay, I'll give you some examples, but suppose suppose this is your range space. Range space is like 1 to 1.5, 6, whatever it is, okay, from 7. So these are some observations, okay. Let's say this is there are some sample points in the set S, okay. Let's say there are 10 sample points, and they are mapped. You have defined it like this. For some, these are 1, taking the value 1. For some, these are taking the value 1.5, and so on. So this is my range space. So now what you want to do is like, okay, so you need to define what is called the PDF corresponding to this X. And suppose you are able to define this. PDF means the probability density function. Here you can talk about also about a mass function because it is discrete, because it is finite. So you have x equal to some small x. Okay, you can define it. So f of, so probability of this, which you write it as f of x. So where this x is in the range space. So you have this PDF for the random variable x, and then you can compute like what is the expectation variance and some other properties and so on. Okay, if you want to analyze, okay, or for example the moments of this random variable to analyze this data. Okay, this data you want to analyze, then you can compute some of the statistics associated with this, such as expectation variance, moments, and so on. Now it may so happen that you want also like what happened for the case of moments, okay, or moments about the origin. We talked about this, okay. So expectation of x to the power some k. Okay, so for any k, let's say for any natural number k. So what we do then, we consider for example, k equal to 2. So this will be then expectation of square, and then we find this, what is the value of this, right? So we compute this. So basically x square, meaning here this is also a function of x. You can take x to the power q, x to the power 4, and so on. So any value of k, which is a natural number here, you consider that random variable x to the power k, and then you compute its values corresponding to what are the values of x are. So then if you consider, for example, x square, then it will be done in this range space of x square, which will be square of all these numbers, and then you can find out corresponding density function, which is, let's say, probability of x square is equal to x. Okay, and then this will be the corresponding, let's say, let me write like x square. So this is the PDF corresponding to the PDF corresponding to this new random variable x square. Okay, and since you have a new random variable here, then you can again find its statistics like expectation variance and so on. And from there, you probably also want to understand what is the behavior of this data, or what some problems related to this data. Okay, so here these are when we calculated this mean, these moments x to the power k. Okay, so these are very specific function. Okay, now we are generalizing it, and we are saying, okay, suppose we have a function f of x, then I can consider what is called f of capital X. So this will be a function. It could be like a linear function, which you considered earlier also, let's say ax plus b kind of a thing, where a and b some scalars. Okay, or it could be, let's say, x square. Okay, it could be log x. Okay, it could be anything. For example, we also consider in the case of normal distribution in particular, we consider this function x minus mu by sigma, in order to convert any normal to a standard normal. So where mu is the mean and sigma is a standard deviation. So meaning anyway, so these are constant. So this is actually of this particular form. So yeah, you can also consider, we also have seen, like, you can also consider x minus mu by sigma whole square. So these are all basically functions of x. Okay, so the idea is here. Okay, so in general, when you have a new random variable x, and if I consider a new random variable, okay, which is a function of x, then how to calculate the PDF of this new random variable, which is a function of the given random variable. So we'll see. We had seen some example last day. Today also I'll just mention 2 examples, and then we'll state a theorem, and that will be the end of this topic with some examples. Of course, I'll give some examples and problems, and then we'll end this topic. Okay. So let us say a first example. Let us talk about an example. So let us say my x is like this. So the values of x means the range space of the random variable. It could be, or let's say, let me write it in terms of a table. And let's say this is fx. Suppose this is known to you. Let's say it is -2, and then it is 1 by 10. It is -1, then it is 2 by 10. So basically, the second row is the PDF. The first row are nothing but the range space, the values of x, small x. 1 by 10, let's say 1 is equal, let's say 1 by 10. And 2 is equal to 1 by 10. And for 3, let's say the value is 2 by 10. And 4, let's say the value is 2 by 10. The first need to check. I mean, I'm just asking you this question. Is it the second row? Okay, is this a PDF corresponding to this values, small x? How to check whether it's a PDF or not?
Yes, sir. I think yes.
Yeah, how to check it?
Just total sum to 1.
Yeah, total sum to 1.
Yes,
So you recall, yeah. So actually, most of the part of the probability course, I mean, probability part only, I'm saying, okay, not the statistics part. We actually have done all the basics. We have done. Now, on top of that, whatever we'll be discussing, it will be just an extension of whatever we have defined earlier. So if you have understood the concepts which we already discussed before, then it is very simple. It is just an extension. Okay, I mean, this is just common sense. For example, if you know how to define a continuous function in Math 1, okay, if R2 are a function, then you can of course talk about a 2 parameter function, 3 parameter function, okay, and so on. So it is just simple extension with common sense, nothing else. Okay, so this will be simple. Okay, the rest of the course on probability part. Okay, not the statistics part. In statistics part, again, we will introduce some new concept. But here, basically, we'll extend whatever we have discussed. We will extend those to different applications and two different new concepts. Okay, which are not exactly new, but related to our previous concepts. Yeah. So let's say this fx. This is the function written in the table format. So this is my fx. And now my question is, let's say, my question is, what is the PDF of, let's say, a new random variable y, which is x squared, which is the function of x basically. Okay. So if you want to compute this, so first of all, okay, what I need to do is, what is the range space of this y, which is defined in terms of x. So what is the range space of y? Range space of y should be equal to what? Square of all these numbers in the first row. It could be 0, 1, 4, 9, 16. This is basically the range space. I'm writing it in order, but you need not write it in order. Okay, anything. Say it is always same, whether you have here, this element is here, or that element is, it doesn't matter. As a set, they are all equal, doesn't matter. So it could be 0, 1, 4, 9, 16. Then what do we need to find in order to find the PDF? Basically, I need to find what is the probability of y is equal to 0. What is the probability of, let me define that this PDF is denoted by gy, which is probability of y is equal to y. So basically what I'm finding is, what is G0? So G0 means y is equal to 0. So this means y is equal to x square, x square equal to 0. X square equal to 0 means actually x is equal to 0. So x equal to 0 means what? We already know the probability. X equal to 0 is 1 by 10. Okay, so this is 1 by 10. So I know the value. Then let's say y1, a g of 1. So then this is probability of y is equal to 1, which means this is probability of x square is equal to 1, and x square is equal to 1 means what? Either x is equal to 1 or x is equal to minus 1, right? The probability of x is equal to 1 or x is equal to minus 1, right? But it cannot be together here. I mean, there. So this is mathematical OR. Mathematical OR in general means this is an event. Let's say x equal to 1. Another event is x minus 1. Okay, but there is no common point here. I mean, x will take the value 1. Let's say for those values, which will take this value 1, and for those values, it will take the value. But here there are already numbers. So it is 1 here and minus 1 here. They're distant. So we can write that this to be equal to x equal to 1 plus probability of x equal to minus 1. Now I know the values of this probability of x equal to 1 and minus 1. So for minus 1 it is 2 by 10. For 1 it is 1 by 10. If I add it up, so this will be equal to 3 by 10. So this way I can calculate all these values. G of 0, G of 1, then G of 4, 9, 16. And then that will give me the PDF of this new random variable, which is x square. Okay. So this is a way to do it. Now, so this is an example for a discrete random variable. Okay, I'm not doing the rest of the solution. Okay, you can do it by yourself. And then let us consider this another example for a continuous random variable. As I said before, I mean, we considered an example and then we said we'll convert this to normal. So suppose we have a box, kind of hypercube. Okay, and where, let's say I know the height. Okay, this height I know. This height is, let's say, 4 inch. And let's say this base, this one and this one, let's say these are all x. Okay. Okay, these are same x. So now I consider the volume. So then volume will be a parameter of x. This x is a random variable. Okay, by the way. And let's say this x is normal. Okay, let's say it is standard normal 0, 1, n0, 1. X is due to the standard normal 0, 1. And then the question is, what is, let's say the question is, what is the PDF? So this is the PDF. The PDF means a PDF of this x is standard normal. Now question is, what is the PDF of, let's say, or the distribution of, you can say the distribution function of the volume of the hypercube, or the volume of the box, of the volume of the box. So basically in disguise, what the question is that you have to find out what the volume here is. That's a V. So volume here is 4x square. Basically, you have to find the PDF of this 4x square, which is a function of x again. Okay, so let us do that. So let's say G. Okay, so G, and let me write V. Okay, or let me just say the PDF, or maybe the distribution function, or the cumulative distribution function, CDF. CDF of V is what? This is, let's say, capital G of V, which is probability of V less equal to small v. So this is the CDF, but this V is equal to 4x square, and this small v is any v. Okay, so let's equal to V. Any v means this is any real number. So let's equal to small v. So which means this is probability. So I just have to use the fact that x is distributed as normal because this is what is given to me. So somehow I need to bring in x so that I can use this information. So then if 4x square is equal to v, then x must be less equal to 1 by half square root of v, will be bigger than equal to minus half square root of v. Okay. Now I know how x is distributed. X is distributed as normal, and I know the PDF of this. So this probability is then according to my definition of the PDF of I mean the probability of this event. So let's say some a and some b. So it will be from a to b. So this integration. So from 1 by 2 half times minus half times square root of b to half of square root of b. And then fx dx. So fx here is that standard normal, and I know the PDF, which is 1 by this times sigma. Sigma here is 1 e to the power minus x minus mu, but mu is 0 because mean is 0. So x squared and sigma is 1, so by 2 this dx. So if I just do this, then what I will get? Can anybody tell me what I would get here? Okay, it will be a little difficult if you want to do that. So let me not do it right now. So let me write it as, so it is from minus v to v. This to this, I'm not minus v, but it is minus half square root of v to this, and v is half square root of v, and this is how it is distributed. So there is some kind of this kind of a function. Okay, so e to the power minus x squared by 2, some kind of function like this. Okay, so then I have to compute this. Let's say 0 is here, so I have to compute the area under this. So this is symmetric, so I can write this as 2 from 0 to half square root of v, this is small v, and 1 by square root 2 pi e to the power minus half x squared dx. Okay, or you can say that this function is even, so I have 2 times this. Yes,
sir, if we actually tell that the minus half x square equal to z and take and make it as a gamma function, then calculate it.
yeah, same answer, but I don't want to do that because I want to find the PDF. So I want to take, so this is not PDF, this is a CDF, and I have to take the derivative of this. So
Okay,
I will
sir.
perform this integration maybe later on, but before that, so because again I have to take the differentiation of this, so I will directly differentiate this one with respect to V, and then I can differentiate it, and then I will do the integration. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Now, so what is the CDF? The PDF. The PDF of G is then what? PDF of then V, okay, which is 4x squared, is then what? This is nothing but according to the formula. So this is derivative of this with respect to V and GV. So which means what? So this means d dV, okay, and then 2 0 to half square root of V, small v, square root of V, 1 by root 2 pi e to the power minus half, this will be under root minus half x squared dx. So if I differentiate this, what do I get? Can anyone tell me? This is just fundamental theorem of calculus. If I differentiate it, what do I get?
So ddx of half into root v, and then we have to Means in the x we have to put the value of half root v. Just
Yeah.
Newton's, I think so.
Yeah. So this time root v whole square, then half, because I have to take the derivative, a dv of root v. Okay, so if I do this, I'll get, so this 2 will get cancelled. I mean, this 2 and this 2 get cancelled and so on. So I'll have 1 by square root of 2 pi, and then e to the power minus 1 by 8, right, 8v, and then 1 by 2 times root v. Okay, so this is, I can write this. I mean, this is now a very simple thing. I mean, this is the answer basically, but we can see a connection with this one and the gamma distribution. In fact, this can be written as this one. I just want to show it to you that this can be written as this one. Gamma half. What is the value of gamma half? Square root of 8. What is the gamma half?
Root pi na 1 by sorry, forget it, I think.
Yeah, I discussed this in the course. But anyway, this is, you have to
Root
check.
pi.
So root pi, yeah. So this is gamma 8 comma half. So basically what is happening is, so this is basically the PDF of this function, 4 times x square. So here we could see, we can actually prove one more theorem, which is like, I can state this problem as a theorem again, that if x is normally distributed, standard normally distributed, then 4 times x square is gamma 8 comma half. In fact, instead of 4x square, you can just take x square and see, because x minus mu by sigma, mu is equal to 0, okay, and sigma is equal to 1, and then square of it, and this is nothing but gamma. So you will get a formula like this. So anyway, so this is, so the volume is distributed as gamma distribution, okay. Okay. Now the question is, okay, for a specific problem, the question is that, okay, for a specific problem means what? Suppose I am supplied with a random variable capital X, and I'm asked to find the PDF. I mean, I'm supplied with the capital random variable capital X, meaning suppose I also know the PDF of the capital X random variable, and now I'm asked to find the PDF of a function of that capital X. Okay, so the question is, should I always have to do this calculation, or do I have a direct formula, and using the formula, okay, I can find the value. I can find the PDF of the function of the random variable capital X. Okay, and there is a formula, and we'll prove that. I mean, okay, let me prove it. Okay, the proof is little long, but again, similar kind of a formula will also be there when we'll be talking about, okay, a pair of random variables. Okay, so we have a formula, not for any x, or not for any function of x, but specific function of x, which are useful. And then using that formula, we will always calculate the PDF of the function of the random variable capital X. So here is the idea. The idea is that does there exist? The question is, does there exist? Let me try, there exist. Okay, a formula to compute PDF of a function of a random variable X. So this is itself a random variable. Okay, function of random variable X is again a random variable. Okay, using the PDF of X. Suppose this is known. So this part is known. Using this means you know this capital X, the PDF of this. Now what I want to find out is the PDF of a new random variable, which is the function of this capital X, the random variable capital X. And here is the theorem, and this is what is called transformation method. I mean, this is a particular method which is known as transformation. Transformation means what? This is the transformation. The function is called the transformation. Okay. Anyway, so the theorem goes as follows. So suppose, so in fact for discrete it is very simple. So we'll do it for the continuous case. So suppose x is, okay, suppose x is a continuous random variable. Continuous random variable. Okay, with PDF fx, let's say. Okay. Now let y is a function of x. So it is t of, let's say, x. T is the function. T stands for this transformation. Okay. T of x be an increasing okay, or decreasing function. So this is defined only for increasing or decreasing function. Then the PDF of this new random variable, which is the function of the capital random variable, okay, is this g of y. Let's say this will be mod of dx dy. Mind it, here it's not dy dx. Okay, it's dx dy or ddy of x times f of wy. I'll tell you what w is, where x is equal to wy is the inverse of the function t. Is the inverse of t. Meaning what? So I have this x, and this is the sample space. Okay, and then I have a function here which is t. Okay, so here I have the color. So let me write it axx. Okay, now using t, I have then sy here. Okay, so tx is equal to y. Okay. For each x, I have y here. Okay, for each small x here. Now what I'm saying is, let me define this. Suppose this is increasing or decreasing, so that inverse exists. Then I compute the inverse of this, t inverse of y, which I'm writing in as w of y. You can write t inverse as well, w of y. So for some y, it will take some x here. Okay, this t inverse or w. Okay, this is the picture here, and then the formula is this. So dx dy. So what is happening here is, when you write this function dx, so here y is written in terms of x, right? And here then, since it is invertible, x is written in terms of y. Once it is written, then you have to take the derivative both sides with respect to y, and then you'll get dx dy, and then take the value of the modulus value of this, and then f of wy. F you already know, which is the PDF of x. Fx, the PDF of x. Then instead of, so since here you know already that x equal to wy, you put that expression here, and then whatever you get, that will be gy. Okay. So this is simple. So that means here I don't have to do anything. All this derivative, I don't have to calculate. I mean, in the entire process, I don't have to proceed. Okay, I don't have to follow. So what I'll do is I'll just calculate the inverse, and that's it. Okay. So if x is given in y is given in terms of x by the function t, okay, then what I'll do is I'll write x in terms of y. This is what I have to do. This is the theorem. So what is the proof of this theorem? Okay, let me just, the proof is a little long, but let me just do it. So first of all, you recall, note that y is equal to, because this is important. This is an increasing function. You can do it same thing. You can follow the same procedure for decreasing function. So let me prove it for increasing function. Note that this is increasing. Suppose that this is an increasing function. Okay. Then the CDF or the distribution function of y is what? The way we actually solve the problem, we'll proceed the similar way. Okay, the same way actually. for an arbitrary function. Here, this is given to us that f was normal. I mean, the PDF of x was normal. This was given to us, and the function was this. The way we solve this problem, similarly, we'll prove the theorem. Okay, similar procedure, prove the theorem. Okay, so what is the CDF? Ui, which is probability of y less equal to y. But y is equal to tx. That is tx less equal to y. And if the inverse exists, okay, so that means probability of x less equal to t inverse, which is w here, wy. Okay. So then this is nothing but, since I know the PDF, so it is minus infinity to wy, then fx dx. This is the way actually we proceeded in solving the problem. Okay. Now this is the CDF, which capital GY. I am to compute the PDF, so I have to take the derivative of this. So then the PDF of y is what? Let's say small gy, which is d dy of capital GY. So if you do that, so then this is d dy minus infinity to wy, okay, fx dx. So we'll use the same formula which we used earlier to solve that problem. It is f of wy times d dy of wy. Okay, so since this is x, because x equal to wy, see, this is the inverse function, x equal to wy. So then this is f of wy times dx dy. Okay. Now you can do the same thing. Okay. This is for increasing. This is for increasing function. Okay. Can anybody tell me where did I use the fact that it is increasing?
Sir, in the integration.
In the integration? Anybody else?
Sir, increasing functions are invertible. Right?
Okay. Suppose I say that inverse exists, but that does not mean that it is increasing. So why did I use the fact that it is increasing? Then this theorem can be generalized. Wherever the inverse exists, I can do the same thing. But I made the assumption that this function t
Set a
is
CDF.
increasing. CDF?
I think this is a CDF function, sir, for that.
No, CDF I do not know. So I'm assuming that this is just a function. Somehow, so that means what? My assumption is t is increasing. That means somewhere where I am using some property of t, there I have to look in the proof. So where did I use t? Here I use t. So this step to this step I use t. This is for actually only one place where I use t. So then the question is, see, yeah.
The inequality will be of opposite sign if tx would have been decreasing.
Yes. So this is, yeah. So this is where I use increasingness of this function. This is where I use the increasingness of this function. Now, if tx is decreasing, this will be changed. Only this will change. If t is decreasing, then this will be what? This will be x bigger or equal to wy. This is the only change that will happen. And if it is bigger or equal to, okay, let me just write it down. Now suppose that t is decreasing. Then what will happen? I calculate first gy, okay, which is the what? The CDF, right? Which is the CDF. So this is probability of y less equal to small y. So this is probability of tx less equal to small y. So this is probability of x bigger or equal to ty. This is because t is decreasing. Decreasing means what? So this is t. This is, let's say, small x, and this is y. Decreasing or increasing means like this, it is increasing. Okay, and decreasing means like this, it is decreasing. So as x is, let's say, x1, and this is, let's say, x2. So when it is increasing, here it is decreasing, let's say, decreasing. So when x1 or x2 is bigger than x1, then t of x1. So this is the plot for y equal to tx. So tx2 will be bigger than tx1, this one. So this is, let's say, t of x1, and this is t of x2. See, t of x2 is bigger than t of x1 when x2 is bigger than x1. This is for increasing. But for decreasing, it is just the opposite. Even if x2 is bigger than x1, okay, x2 is bigger than x1, but t of x2 is smaller than t of x1. So this will reverse. Okay, this will reverse. So anyway, t is decreasing. So then I can write this as 1 minus probability of x less equal to wy. Right? This is w inverse. Less equal to wy. So this will be 1 minus infinity to wy fx dx, and then I can take the derivative and so on. Similar way, I can take the derivative, and then, okay, then we'll have gy. Similar way, d dy g of y. If we do that, so then I have to take derivative of this part, but is this constant? It will be 0. So only this all, there will be a minus sign that will be changed here. So there will be a extra minus sign here that will appear. So finally, this will be then, if we do it, this will be f of wy times dx dy. So combining this both, whether it is increasing or decreasing, doesn't matter. Okay. And finally, what we have is, okay, gy is mod x. I have only one formula. Okay. So if it is negative, then this mod will give me negative value. If it is positive, means it is increasing or decreasing. I have only this value. And this is the PDF. Okay. So now, so this is the proof. Okay. So what is happening here is, what we observed here is, if x is a random variable, I have a function which is given to x, the transformation of this x, which is y. I know the PDF here, let's say fx. Sometimes people, that's why in some books they write fx. Okay, the PDF for this, or let me just write f, the PDF, or fx, the PDF. Then I want to compute what is gy. This is what I want to compute. And the answer is given by this. Okay. When t is either increasing or decreasing. So let us see some problems. And I skipped those problems. I did not solve this problem. So let us now recall those problems which I gave you as homework. Now we can prove this, and we can solve those problems using this simple formula. So this is the first example, let's say. Suppose x is distributed as normal. I think I proved this using some other way. This I proved in the class. But let me prove it again using this formula. And let z is x minus mu. In the exam, I think they denote it as capital phi. Okay, that does not matter. I said also in the class that it is written either z, capital Z, capital Z, or capital phi or phi. Okay, then this, question is, what is the PDF? So let this, then question is, what is the PDF of z? Okay, this is the question. So we already know the answer. This should be normal 0, 1. Okay, but how to prove it? Just use this simple formula. Okay, so solution. So here z is equal to then what? Z equal to x minus mu by sigma. This is how the function is defined. Z I am writing, you can also write y, doesn't matter. Okay, y is equal to x minus mu by y sigma. Then what I have to do, I have to now write wy should be equal to x. So I have to write x in terms of y. So x then equal to what? Sigma y plus mu. Okay, so this is, you can say this is equal to wy. So this is the function of y. Okay, and this is what is called t of x. This is what is given to me, and this is w of y. Now, what is dx dy? This is, you just have to take the derivative of this, both sides, and then this is sigma. So I know this also. So then what is dy? I know the formula, which is mod of dx dy times f of wy. F I know because this is normal, mu sigma. So dx dy is sigma. I got it already. Sigma is already positive, so I don't have to. We don't need this mod value. Now f of wy. So f I already know. Square root of 2 sigma pi, 2 pi sigma, or I can also write sigma square under the square root. Then e to the power minus half. Then it is x minus mu by sigma whole square. X is wy here, replaced by wy, minus mu by sigma whole square. So this will be, this sigma will get cancelled, sigma square will get cancelled. I would have cancelled it earlier also. Anyway, square root of 2 pi, e to the power minus half wy I know, which is sigma y plus mu, then minus mu by sigma whole square. So this is 1 by square root of 2 pi to the power minus half y square. This mu will get cancelled, this sigma will get cancelled. That's it, and which is normal 0, 1. Okay, so very simple proof. Okay, using this formula. So everything will be very simple now. Whenever you have a function, you just have to compute one derivative and the inverse. Okay, this inverse of this t, whatever the transformation is given to you. Another problem which I did not solve in the class, but I said you can solve it. So let's say x is normal, means sigma square, and then I said x minus mu by sigma whole square will be chi square with 1 degree of freedom. This is what I said. And I said degree of freedom we'll discuss when we will do statistics. Okay, so this is, again, you can say this is the square of the standard normal. So square of the standard normal is chi square, is the relation. But anyway, so if you want to find a solution, I mean, if you want to show that this is the case, so I don't know this one, let's say. What is y here? Y is equal to t of x. Now what is that? This is x minus mu by sigma whole square. As simple as that. Then what I have to do, I have to write x in terms of y. So if you do that, and this will be y sigma square, right? Okay, what will be that? Can anybody tell me? And then x minus mu, this and that. What will be x in terms of y?
Sigma root y plus
sigma root y plus.
Okay, plus mu, right? So this is w of y. So this I already know, this I wanted, w function. So then I can compute dx dy, which will be just sigma by 2 root y. Okay. So whenever I'm writing root y, so I have to say that y is bigger than 0. Anyway, so g of y, then what? G of y, mod of dx dy, I know the formula. F of wy, I know. So I put everything here. Okay, and then you'll see finally something, and then this will be, can be written as this x square, I mean chi square 1. You know the chi square distribution, and with r degrees of freedom, and you will see whatever you will get after putting all this. If you put r equal to 1, you'll get that back. Okay. Now let us solve another problem. Let's say x is uniform distribution over 0, 1. So uniform distribution 0, 1 means this is 0, this is 1. And then what is the distribution here? How does it look like? This is x. So how does fx look like for uniform?
Symmetric of f of x axis, I think. Symmetric of y axis, I think, sir.
No, this was 0. I mean, this was just b minus a. So here b is this 1, and this is a constant function. So here, not exactly at
Yes.
0, because here it said it is open. So yeah, it is like this. So this is a constant. This is the uniform distribution. Okay. That means if you take any value here, interval here, so the area will be like this. Anyway, so area basically is nothing but how much part you are taking out of this. Anyway, so X is uniform distribution over 0, 1. And let's say Y is a function which is minus log of X. Okay, and the question is, what is the PDF of Y? That's the question. Okay, so let us solve this. I'm solving this because it is interesting to observe. But you will find another relation between the distributions. I mean, all those distributions, they are not independent of each other, but you can find functions which correlate them. Like one distribution is a function of another distribution, like that. Anyway, so let us see. Y equal to minus log X. This is the function here. So I want to compute the PDF of Y. So what do? I have to first find what is the function, okay, which is minus log of X. Okay, then I have to find inverse of Y. So then this will imply X equal to what? E to the power minus Y. So this is my WY. WY. So this I already know. Now I have to compute dx dy. If I compute dx dy, so this will be minus e to the power minus Y. I know that also. Then I can just find out the PDF. So which is then what is g of y? It is mod of dx dy f of wy. So which is what then? This is e to the power minus y. And f of wy. F of wy means what? What is f? F is the PDF. This is a uniform 0, 1. That means what?
It is constant something C.
The constant is 1 here, right? Because b minus a, 1 by b minus a, 1. So it is nothing. It is just this one. This one. That's it. So the thing is, what is this? What is this distribution? Gy equal to the power minus y, or let's say fx equal to the power minus x. What is that distribution? Can anyone tell me? This is exponential with a parameter value 1. Now recall what is exponential. So if x is uniform, minus log x is actually exponential. Okay. Yeah, so these are basically the typical examples, okay, where we can relate. I mean, using this formula, we can easily compute PDF of the function of random variable, and this is where the syllabus ends. Syllabus for the next exam. Okay, next Tuesday you have exam. Syllabus ends here, and we'll take a break. And now we'll start. We'll take a break for 2 to 3 minutes, and then we'll start new topic, which is pair of random variable. This is not a part of the syllabus, but I mean syllabus for the class test 2. Okay, it will be a syllabus for the part of the syllabus for class test 3. Okay. So this is 2 random variables. So okay, so what? Just let me just add one word here. What do you mean by 2 random variables? Well, we talked about x, right? And what is x? X is a function from sample points to R, right? So R, the real number. So basically what we had is the sample space S, right? And this is the real number. So we assigned some real numbers, okay, all this. So this is your data point. These points, let's say. These are your data points now, okay? But here we have pair of random variables. So if we have X, then we also have what? Another one with the same sample space, let's say. Then we have to assign 2 values. Okay, so we have to consider an ordered pair here. There are two random variables. Okay. So for some, it will take some value, and there will be real number for this one, capital X, and some capital Y. So the points are not anymore. So earlier what we did is, when you talked about PDF, we had this X. Here we had fx. Then we said, okay, if it is continuous, let's say, if it is discrete, it will be just some columns defined for distinct values of this. Otherwise, we said, okay, some curve under this area is 1. This was the PDF. Now here the situation changes. So we have two values here. One is x, for y. Then this you have to add something. This is 3 dimension. Okay, so we'll talk about that, or we'll see how to deal with this kind of a problem, pair of random variables. Okay, I'll be here, but we'll take a break for 2-3 minutes. Okay.
Sir, when will be our next class test?
You see the syllabus. Next class test is, I think, the next Tuesday. I announced this also last week. It will be, I think, next Tuesday.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so in fact, we are talking about only a pair of random variables, because only this is a part of the syllabus. You can extend this to a finite sequence of random variables, x1, x2, x3, dot, 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 up to some xn for some values of small n. Let's say 5, 4, 3, whatever. And then it is called a random vector. In fact, we can also talk about random matrix, okay, where each entry is a random variable. That means there is some kind of a distribution of this random variable will be taking some values. X1, let's say n, x21, x21, 22, x2n, let's say xm1, xm2, xmn. So then this is a random matrix. Okay. These are not part of the syllabus, but if you hear it somewhere, in fact, if you do a course on machine learning, they'll always start with a random vector. Okay. And here the vector is actually two-dimensional. That's it. If the value of n is equal to 2. This is a random vector. And this is a random matrix. Then the question will be how whether there is a correlation between these random variables or not. So many questions will come now. Okay. Now, what kind of, what are the typical examples? For example, what you can do possible is for yourself, for your personal use, you can say, let's say you can have two variables. Like one is how much time, let's say X denotes the time per week, how much you devote, okay? Or maybe how much time you devote for class test. And this is the marks for your class test. And then you can do it for several courses, for all of your courses, and then try to see whether there is a correlation between these two or not. We'll define what is called the correlation between two random variables. Okay, so here it could be time you invest to prepare for an exam or prepare for your study, whatever it is. Let's say how much time you devoted before class test 1, and this is the marks in class test 1. Okay, it is marks or grade, whatever it is. Okay, marks, let's say. And then you can try to see how this is. I mean, you can analyze this. I mean, I'll tell you how to analyze this, but you can maintain a data and you can do it. Okay, you can get some values of X and Y. You can have a table, okay, where you'll have some values here. Let's say X, this is XY table. X are like here, Y are like here. These are the values, different values. Okay, and then you'll have something here. I'll tell you how to fill up this table. So this is a typical example where you can have a pair of random, or let's say in some kind of a study of disease, let's say whether you are becoming fat, okay, or you are becoming thin or slim or skinny, okay, does it depend on other properties of your body? Okay, so for example, what about your blood sugar, blood pressure? I mean, these are the simple things, but there may be some complicated things. Okay, whether they are correlated with your weight, okay, your weight or not. So that is, I mean, there you can assume, let's say X could be some XY, X could be your blood sugar. Okay, you can measure blood sugar, and this is, let's say, for your weight. So this is weight, and not yours, but for a group of people. Okay, so if a doctor wants to study that there is a correlation between the weight and, let's say, this is the blood pressure, or let's say blood sugar. Okay, whether there is a relationship, there is a correlation between these two random variables or not. Or maybe suppose we want to find out, okay, the property, or let's say property of a country, like happiness, like GDP. Okay, so what are the factors? Okay, and or let's say the business, for a particular business. Okay, the profit, whether the profit depends on some other properties, let's say the number of workers, or let's say the volume of the business, like how many people are involved and so on, and there may be many properties of the business, a particular business. So there are practical examples. Or let's say you talk about Netflix, okay, or Amazon Prime Video, but there are different kinds of videos. Okay, I mean, videos means movies, let's say. So movies, what you can do is what people are watching, what people want to watch. Okay, how to attract, let's say, so Netflix wants to study, okay, what kind of movies people want to watch. Okay, then whether the length of the movie, like how long the movie, let's say it is 1 hour and 30 minutes, or 1 hour and 45 minutes, or maybe it is more than 2 hours. Okay, so the duration of the movie, okay, for a particular genre, let's say horror movie, thriller movie, whatever it is, a romantic movie, whatever it is, whether there is a correlation with that with the number of people who watch this movie, whether there is a correlation between these two or not. So one could be the time, the duration of a movie, and it's the number of people who watch that movie. Okay, that could be two random variables. So there can be many real situations, okay, where you just have to wisely define some kind of random variable, and then you have to study, okay, that data, like whether one is influencing the other random variable or not. But here we'll stick to these two only, x and y. Okay, and so let me introduce some definitions for some terminologies first, and then gradually we'll develop the concept. So basically, what we'll do is the way we introduce a random variable, the same way we'll develop the concept, the terminologies for a pair of random variables here. First of all, first definition, let's say, what is a discrete random variable, or let's say, let me write it, discrete bivariate. So there are two variables, random variable. This is xy. This is an ordered pair of random variables, which are discrete. So ordered means this is the first one, this is the second one. You should not mix up these two. Whatever you are writing, that will be treated as first. It will be, the second one, it will be the second. Meaning whenever you are making those observations, some measurement, okay, the values, small x and small y. So first one should correspond to the first random variable. The second one should correspond to the second one. So it is an ordered, okay, ordered pair of discrete random variables. Discrete random variables. Then we need to define what is called a probability density function. Okay. Here, since we have two variables, we call it a joint probability density function. So there are many questions here. Jointly, how it is distributed, how one is marginally distributed. We'll talk about that also. Okay. That means from this, if you know the distribution of this, let's say somehow it is defined. So for PDF of this, then the question will be, from the PDF of the joint one, can I derive the PDF of the single one? Okay, so there are two things, okay, here. So here, let us first introduce the concept of joint PDF, probability density function. This word is very, very important, joint probability function for xy, this pair xy. So this is defined as, so this is again the real valued function, okay. So real valued function, it is defined at f of xy. I like it as just fx, it is now fxy, fx comma y. This probability of x equal to x and y is equal to small y. So this x is in the range space of x and this y is in the range space of y. Okay, so then this xy belongs to the range space of x, Cartesian product, the range space of y. Okay, so what is this event here? This should be an event. What is this event here? This event here means x also is capital X equal to small x and capital Y is equal to small y. So basically this event. So for example, if I say, let me just give you an example. Suppose you roll a pair of dice. Okay, roll a pair of dice. Roll a pair of dice. Okay, and let me write x to be, okay, just let the x, you know, the smallest one, the smaller outcome, and y denotes the larger one, the larger outcome. The first time you roll, then you will get some values of x. Second time you roll, get the values of x and y. Okay. So if you roll it, then what is my sample space here? Sample space here, it could be what? It could be 1, 1. It could be 1, 2. It could be 1, 3. It could be 1, 4. It could be 1, 5, 1, 6. It could be 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, and so on. Right? It could be all possibilities like 6, 6, up to 6, 6. It will go up to 6, 6. Now, if I ask you, what is f of 2, 3? That means what? What is the probability that x equal to 2 and y is equal to 3? Okay, what is that probability? That means how many ways you can get x equal to 2 and y equal to 3. The smallest one is 2 and the larger one is 3. Right? So what would be this one, this probability? Can anybody tell me?
1 by 36.
1 by 36. Anybody else?
2 by 36.
2 by 36. Why?
Sir, if 3, 2 will appear, then also it will be considered.
Yes,
And if
yes. Yeah, so x equal to 2 means the smallest one is 2. Here, the smaller one is 2, larger one is 3. So if 2, 3 appears, suppose this appeared. So smaller one is 2, larger one is 3. And if 3, 2 appears, then also the smaller one is 2 and the larger one is 3. So there are 2 such. So this will be 2 by 36. Right? So if you do that, then you can actually make a table out of it. The table I was talking about. So here, it could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for x, let's say. Okay. And here for y. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now this table for a single random variable was just a row and a column. Now here it is a matrix. X is equal to 1, y is equal to 1. Now here what I will write, so this is a table for f of xy. So what is f of 1, 1? So highest one will be 1. How many ways you can get? The smaller one is 1 and the larger one is also 1. So only one way it is possible or 2 ways it is possible?
only one way, sir.
So it is 1 by 36. What about 1, 2? The smaller one is 1 and the larger one is 2.
2 ways.
2 ways, so 2 by 36. What about 1, 3? This is also 2 by 36. So you will see this is all 2 by 36. Now what about 2, 1? Okay, let me write what is x, what is y. This is, let's say, x, and this is, let's say, y. Okay. Matter, write the row as a y, column as the x. Doesn't matter. Maybe that will be better. X, and this is y. This is how we read the table, like the matrix, right? X equal to 1. So this is the smaller one. This is the larger one. Smaller one, larger one. Yeah. Now what about 2, 1? What is this value? 2, 1. Smaller one is 2 and larger one is 1. What will be this probability? 0, yes. 0. In fact, smaller one is 3 and larger one is 1. So these are all actually 0. And 2, 2 is will be 36. Here again it is 0 and there it will be 2 by 36. I will see a pattern in the table. Here it is again 0. Here it is 1 by 36. This is 0. And here it is 2 by 36 and so on, 2 by 36. Here it is 1 by 36, 0, 0, 1 by 36, 1 by 36, 0. And these are all 2 by 36. 2 by 36, 2 by 36, 2 by 36. So this is the PDF actually for the discrete random variable, the bivariate random variable x and y. So I can just write it as a function now, xy, which is 1 by 36 if x equal to y and 2 by 36 if x is less than y and 0 otherwise. So this is my PDF for a pair of random variables. Okay. Then we asked a question. Yeah. You want to say anything?
Sir, can you please
Yeah.
explain how that f of 2, 3 is 2 by 36 and not 1 by 36?
See, so you are rolling or tossing whatever, rolling a pair of dice, right? So dice, the possibility is Rx is like smaller outcome 1 to 6, y is also 1 to 6, it doesn't matter. But what are the all possibilities? Okay, that can appear. So what are the all possible outcome? 1, 1, 2, 2, 1, 3. Because the first die, I mean, pair of dice you are rolling. So the first die you can have 1, 2, 3 up to 6, and the second die, you can have 1, 2 up to 6. So these are all possible. There are 36 possibilities. Now what I'm measuring is for which outcomes the smaller outcome is 2 and larger outcome is 3. So if 2, 3 occur, that means in the pair of dice, the first one appears to be 2, the outcome for the first die, and the outcome for the second die is 3. So here also the smaller one is 2 and the larger one is 3. And if this appears 3, 2, the first die 3 appears and second die 2 appears, but the smaller one is 2 and the larger one is 3. So for any xy here, if you take any ij, let's say, so I have to, x is defined then as the minimum of ij for any outcome, a pair of this I comma j, let's say, and y is denoted as the minimum of this ij. This is the max of g, right? The larger one. So if 2, 3 occurs, then also minimum is 2 this, and if 3, 2 occurs, then also minimum is 2 and max is 3. That's why you have two possibilities, 2 ways you can get these values, x equal to 2 and y equal to 3. So 2 out of 36. Is that okay now?
Yes, sir. Got it.
Okay. So this is just an example. Now I'll define what is called marginal probability density function. So if f of xy is known to me, so this is how they are jointly distributed. Jointly distributed meaning what? For any xy, x comma y, when they are the corresponding range spaces, what is the probability that? Okay, so what is the meaning of xy? As a joint probability distribution, this is probability of capital X equal to small x and capital Y equal to small y. But this does not give me any clue about what is the probability of x equal to x. Question is how to find it. So this is a joint PDF. Now I want to find the marginal PDF. So I want to find this one from this one. Okay. So then I'll call it the marginal PDF, marginal probability density function of x and marginal probability density function of y. From the joint, how can I find the marginal one? So this is the concept called marginal probability density function or PDF of x. Similarly, you can say y. So let me first define it for this. So marginal one for this will be what? Can anybody tell me? So marginal means what? Here for this example, when x equal to, I have to find out f of x. Right now x equal to 1, so I have to find out this probability of x equal to 1. How do I find it? So meaning basically what is happening here is, what is the probability that I'll get the smaller outcome to be 1? What is the probability? Here, if you consider all possible sample points, what is the probability that the smaller one is 1? How many pair of outcomes can be there for which the smaller one will be 1?
So 12.
12. So how do we get 12?
1 to 6, 1 1 1 2 1 3 1 6 and 6 1 6 and this way, sir. 6 1 5 1.
Okay. Okay. So he is saying 1 1, of course. Smaller one is
Sir, I
this.
think
1 2.
it
Yeah.
should be 11,
That
sir.
will be 11.
It will be 11. Yes. And in fact, 11 is nothing but sum of all this. That means whatever y is, I don't care. I care only about the fact when x is equal to 1. So I have to add up all those probabilities. Similarly, for x equal to 2, I just have to add up whatever all the things are here. Similarly, so I have to add basically the rows, the entries of each row. So this is how it is defined. So let me say fx now. Okay, so x corresponds to the PDF of this. Also, this will be sum over f of xy, where x is fixed and y is only varying. This will give me the marginal PDF of x. Okay, now what is the marginal PDF of y? Same thing. I just have to add it over y. This is sum over x belongs to Rx, f of xy. Now see here, I have a table. Okay, so these are the probabilities. Let's say these are the probabilities. Okay, so the rows, they represent, let's say, x, outcome correspond to x. Yeah, the range space of x. Then in order to compute this, okay, I have to say here, I have to add all this y. If these are all y, then I have to add it here. Whatever the values I'll get, that will give me the marginal PDF. Okay, so this value will give me the marginal PDF. So this value fx. And if I have to find y, and this is all x. Okay, for y I have to add these ones. I have to add these ones. Let's say this is y1, y2, dot dot dot, sum yn, and this is x1, x2, dot dot dot, sum xn. So there are n possible outcomes here for x, n possible outcomes for y. So I have this, If I have to add all this, then this will give me some numbers, and this will define what is called fy. This is the picture. Okay, and here this is most interesting fact. Okay, for example, yeah. So for example, so this was the, let me talk about the example first. This was the PDF, joint PDF for xy. Now from here, let us say, and to find out what is the marginal one. Okay? So this is the problem. Let's say the problem is f of xy is equal to 1 by 36 if x equal to y, 2 by 36 if x is less than y, and 0 otherwise. Now question is, calculate what is f of x. This is what? This is sum over all y, f of xy, right? But y is equal to 1 to 6. So this is what? For a given x, okay, this could be what? Given x, y could be equal to 1 plus f of x2 dot 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 plus f of x6. Now for whatever x is, doesn't matter, y is either bigger or equal or less than x. That means I can write this as x when y is equal to x plus sum over f of xy when x is, let's say, or y is bigger than x plus sum over all such xy when y is less than x. Now I already know when x equal to y, this is 1 by 36. This is how it is given. X less than y. Okay, this is 0. plus 0. Okay, plus when x is less than y. Oh, I mean, this is not 0. This third one will be 0. Right? So, yeah. Now, so what will be this one? This part? How many? So f of xy is 2 by 36. How many such are there? Y bigger than x for any x? How many y are there which are bigger than x? When x and y are from 1 to 6? Let's say x equal to 2. How many y's are there which are bigger than 2? 3, 4, 5, 6, 4. If x equal to 3, then how many? Yeah, so if x equal to 3, how many y which are bigger than 3? 4, 5, 3, 6. So basically it is 6 minus x plus 0. So now I have a function 1 by 36. This is 13 minus 2x. X equal to 1 to up to 6. Similarly, you can find out if the marginal distribution of y. Okay. So from x, from the joint, I can come to the marginal one. But see here, notice I did not say, this is a note. Suppose I know the distribution of x and y individually. From there, how can I, so suppose I know in your class, okay, I know your heights for each of you. I know that it follows the distribution. I know your weights, that also follows distribution. But from there, from these individual distributions, marginal distributions, I cannot say anything about joint distribution. In fact, that is the case always. Joint distribution means what? I do not know what is the probability that height is, when height is, let's say 6 feet, weight is, let's say 60 kg. I do not know this. So I do not know the common part. Yes, but I know individual distribution. So from marginal, I cannot say anything about joint. Okay, but from joint, I can say what are marginal distributions. So this is a note. Okay, from joint, we can calculate marginals. But converse, but we may not. Sometimes we may, but in general we may not. But we may not do the opposite, the reverse. We may not do the reverse. Okay, this is a note. Now let us say, so what is here? Suppose we want to plot this now, PDF. We have this x, we have this y. X has some values, y has some values. This is a possible range space. Let's say x1 equal to x1, x2, x3, x4, and this is y1, y2, y3. Let's say there are 3. So then I can have a possibility of x1, y1, x2, y1, x3, y1, x4, y1, then x1, y2, x1, y3, x2, y1, x2, y2, x2, y3, x3, y2, x3, y3, x4 this, y4 this. So if I want to now assign probabilities to all of these points on the xy plane, I have to assign some values here. So this is f of xy. So I'll have some values here, some value for this, some value for this, some value for this, and so on. So I'll have this. So the picture changes. Whatever we had, x-axis, y-axis, now we have to draw it like this. So this is mine. This is mine. picture now. There are the heights. The heights are, let's say, for this function. And the question is, what are the properties of this height? Of course, so the question is in general, when can I have? So this is a real valued function, okay? Or you can say non-negative function. Some Rx, comma Ry to, you can say some 0, 1 times 0, 1, okay? Or just 0, sorry, not 0, just 0, 1. So we can say that f of xy is non-negative for all this, and sum overall f of xy should be equal to 1 xy, which are in Rx. So these are the two properties for a joint PDF. Okay, this has to be satisfied. And there will be some questions. Let's say, okay, another problem. Say, suppose fx is given like this, equal to like k times xy. Okay, when x equal to 1, 2, 3, y equal to 1, 2, 3, and 0 otherwise. The question is, for what values of k, this constant, for what values of k, this represents a PDF. For being PDF, if in order to PDF, this has to be satisfied. So first of all, k cannot be negative, okay? And this also has to be 1. So using those conditions, we can get some values of k. And for that value of k, of course, this will be a PDF. Okay. Now we'll define what is, this is the same thing like we did for, I'm not solving this, you can solve this. So what you can do is possibly solution is find out for which value of k is equal to 1 for all xy. Xy equal to 1 to 3. Y is also equal to 1. So xy comma y is equal to 1 to 3. So you just find it out for what value of k, it will be this one. Then similarly, we can define the way we defined cumulative probability distribution for a random variable. There we can define joint cumulative probability density function, or probability distribution function, probability, a CDF, probability distribution function. So what is your guess? How it should be defined? F of xy, how should it be defined? This has to be, earlier we had f of x, which was probability of x is equal to x, let's say. So how it should be defined now?
It will be a subset of range
There are two values, x.
samples.
Huh?
It will be a subset of sample space.
So you have to,
Rx cross Ry.
no, it is a, earlier it was probability of capital X less equal to small x. So where, what would be? It should be replaced by something, right? What it should be? Probability of which event? This is joint.
Yes, sir. X less than small x and capital Y less than equal to small y.
Small y. Yeah. So what is this event? This event is x less equal to x, or x intersection y less equal to y. This is the corresponding event here. Okay. And similarly, whatever we had done for, let's say a less equal to x less equal to b. This is what we had done for a single random variable. Now here I can have this a less equal to x less equal to b, and also c less equal to y less equal to d. Earlier, what we had here for the discrete cases, a b minus fa, but here it will change a little bit. Here it will be, any idea? Or let me give it as homework. This will be f of bd plus f of ac minus f of ad minus f of bc. And also you can show that this for the discrete case, because we are talking about discrete case, f of xy is nothing but sum over f of xt, where s is less and t is less equal to 1. Because this is how it is defined. Just take the sum. Okay, that is ty or this thing. Now, so these are basically all the extension of whatever we have done. It's just common sense. If you understand, try to understand what is the definition for single random variable. Same thing we are doing. I have two values. Instead of one parameter, okay, I have two parameters. That's it. So basic properties are same. So here the thing is I have x comma y. So whatever we have done, what are the way we have introduced the concept, we have to analyze. Now let me say what are these concepts when this pair is a pair of continuous. Okay. Now what is your guess? Okay, let's say write it like this: bivariate. In fact, you can do it yourself. I mean, it is not a big deal. Continuous random variables. Okay, let me just tell you. Let me just ask you this question. So first of all, how do you define? Okay, how did you define? Let's say what is the PDF of a random variable, continuous random variable x? We had a function fx, and then we say probability of a less than or equal to x less than or equal to b is equal to integration of a to b fx dx. This is how then I'll say this afx is a PDF for this x. This is how we said it. Now here, instead of one variable function, I'll have to introduce two variable functions. So this is joint PDF. Joint PDF for x paired xy. Okay. So this joint PDF is an integrable function which you can integrate. Integrable function fxy such that first is f of xy should be non-negative. Okay, for all xy is in r cross r here. Earlier it was just r. So you can say r square. Entire plane. A second one is minus infinity minus infinity. Earlier you had only one integration sign here. Dx dy should be equal to 1. This would be the definition of joint random variable. And if you give me for any event, earlier it was a less than, so this is an any event a. See the event a, then event a, this will be probability of a should be equal to double integration sign over a effect of dx dy. When this in particular, when this a is like this, a c d. So here I have to draw a surface, right? So fxy means here, let's say this is kind of an umbrella here. Okay. So this here xy could be somewhere here, here. Okay, these are the points here, and this the volume. Let's say under this surface, this is my surface. This is actually f of xy. Volume under this surface. If you take the shadow on the plane, shadow of this surface on the plane, xy plane, then whatever region you get, you consider an umbrella. You are walking, you consider an umbrella, and let's say it is the time it's at 12 o'clock, so the sun is right above your head. Then you get a shadow exactly parallel, the perpendicular projection of the corner of the umbrella. Okay, then you, whatever volume you get, what is that volume? Same thing here. This volume under this entire thing, okay, will be equal to 1. That is what is, it makes it a PDF, joint PDF. And when A is from A, B, C, D means what? This A, let's say A to B, and this is let's say C to, okay, then basically you are talking about these 4 points, and then you are only bothered about this region. You have the corresponding fxy. Okay, let's say it was this. So you are only bothered about this particular part of the fxy. So this is fxy, this is y axis, this is x-axis, this is y-axis, this is z-axis, or maybe this is f of xy. So when your event is this one, so this is A here, is this particular, let's say, region. Okay, this particular region. Then what you do is the volume under this particular region. Okay, if you take the projection of this fxy, the surface on this particular thing, and this is what is called the probability, right? So if A is equal to this and this is equal to this, then probability of this A will be nothing but A to B, C to D, fxy, dy dx. Because C to D I wrote second one, so let me write it this way. Or you can say this is C to D, and this is A to B, dx dy. So this is then your DG. Okay, so this is then your probability for the continuous bivariate random variable. This is how it is defined. So a typical example, let's say how does it look like. Okay, let's say fx equal to, let me say something like k times xy square, or let's say 0 less than x less than y less than 1. So this is my A, let's say, and 0 otherwise. My question is, okay, for what values of k, for what values of k the fxy represent a PDF. So what is the region here? 0 less than x less than y less than 1 means on the what is this? Y has to be bigger than x. So let's say this is x, this is y. Y has to be bigger than x, and they are from 0 to 1. Let's say this is 0 and this is 0 to 1. So what is the region here? Can anybody tell me? What is x equal to y? What are those values? X equal to y is the straight line, right? If you take this square, this is x equal to y. X equal to y. Then y is bigger than x. What does it mean? Y is bigger than x. Which digit? Okay, somebody is calling. Not. I'll be back. Yeah. So what is the region here?
Between y is equal to x line and the y axis.
X is less than y, so this line is excluded. X is less than y, let's say, and x is less than y. Then what is that line? I mean, what is the region?
It should be above x equal to y, means on the side of y axis.
This region?
Yes, sir.
Set of all points xy here in this particular region. This is y-axis, this is x-axis. Or this region, or none of them.
Shaded region, sir.
Huh? Shaded region. This one?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Others? Any clue? Okay, think about it. But how to find k? That means 1 has to be equal to this. F of xy dx dy. So that means this has to be equal to minus infinity to infinity. Okay, then how do I write the integrations? What is the range of x and what is the range of y? X can be taken from 0 to 1. Y can be taken from 0 to 1 because y is bigger than x, and x can be taken from 0 to y. And kx y square dx dy. So you perform this integration, you'll get something and then compute the value of k. Okay, so this is an example when it can be this thing, PDF, joint PDF, or what values of k. Now let me go back to this question. That this is the way to compute the probability of this event. Now let me ask you this question. Suppose you know this is the problem, let's say. The problem is, suppose fxy is this 6 by 5 x square plus 2xy when 0 less equal to x less equal to 1, 0 less equal to y less equal to 1, and 0 elsewhere, 0 otherwise. The question is, what is the probability of A? Okay, where A is equal to x less equal to y, this event. So what is the region here, first of all, which I already said, x less equal to y. Here you have this, right? So this is shaded region. Now what is the probability of that when fx equal to this one? How do you do that? So this is A is equal to this one. So P of A is equal to what? Integration A, double integration A, f of xy dx dy. And where should A vary from and y vary from? What is this region here? This is 0 to 1, 0 to 1. Then this region is from y 0 to 1 and x from 0 to y. The way we did it for the previous example. 0 to 1 and 0 to y, and then 6 by 5 x square plus 2xy dx, and then you have to take dy. If you do that, 0 to 1, then 0 to y, this, what will be this one? Anyway, you compute this, 0 to y, this 6 by 5, so 6 by 5 will come out, x cubed by 3 plus 2 times dx. So this is x square by 2, right? So x square times y. So 0 to y. Right? So what do we get? 0 to y. You have to say 0 to y. And this 6 by 5 will come out 0 to 1. And y cubed by 3, right, plus y cube dy. So this will be 6 by 5, 0 to 1, 4 y cube by 3 dy. And this will be equal to what? 3, 6, 2 by 5, y4 by 4. 4 will get cancelled, 0 to 1. So it is 2 by 5. That's the answer. So this is how you can compute the probabilities for a random variable, for an event A, when you have bivariate continuous random variable. Now, same thing. Instead of one integration, you have two integrations, and whatever the region is given to you, accordingly, you have to define this range. That's it, and nothing else. Now, how do you define marginal PDF here? Marginal PDF for x and y. Suppose here, suppose we know the fxy. Suppose we know the joint PDF. Suppose the joint PDF is given by f of xy. So then the question is, what is fx? Who can tell me what is fx? Earlier it was sum. Here would be what? What is it? Yes.
So it will be the integration of fxy over the range of fy.
Yeah.
Y.
Yeah. So y is from minus. So this is my marginal distribution for x. Similarly, you can have marginal distribution for y. It is minus infinity to infinity, f of xy over. Okay, so let us see an example. See a problem. Suppose fxy is this 3 by 4 when so 0 less than y square less than x less than 1 and 0 otherwise. Question is, what is fxx? So first of all, we have to find out what is the PDF, right? So what is the domain here when it is constant? What is x equal to y square? We have x equal to y square. What is that? This is a parabola, right? Y square equal to x. And then y square less than x means inside the parabola. Right? Is that okay? Any question? What is this region? Can you plot this region? That's my question. Can you plot this region here? So it is up to 1. It can take the values up to 1. Okay. But y square, x can take the value up to 1, but y square is from 0 to x. So y can take negative values. Okay. Then you have this parabola here. Okay, inside this. Now tell me, what is fx? I mean, even if you do not plot this, that is fine. There is no problem. You can use a formula. But you have to also understand how this is defined. Okay, on which particular region xy, this is non-negative. Okay, so this is what? What will be the range here? fxy means 3 by 4. This would be dy. Now, what is the range here? Who can tell me? What should be the range of y? Y
0
square
to
is
root x.
0 to
Zero?
root x.
0. See, y square. I did not say y is positive. Y square is less than x. So y square is basically lying between 0 to x. So what about y?
0 to root x.
Why it is 0? Lower bound?
No, sir. Minus root x to root x.
Yes, minus root x to root x. Because I said y square is lying between 0 to x. Y should be from minus x root x to root x. Yeah, so then you can do this. 3 by 4 integration is y. It is from minus root x to root x, which will be what? 2 times this, so 3 by 2 root x. That's it. So this is the way to compute this, what is called marginal PDF. So yeah, we are running out of time, so let us stop here. And tomorrow we'll talk about what is a joint cumulative distribution function for bivariate continuous random variable, and we'll proceed. Okay, we'll discuss other things. So yeah, well, okay, we'll define something called conditional distribution. So this is very simple. We just have a look how it is defined. The philosophy is same as for the single random variable. Here you just have a pair of random variables, and accordingly you have to adjust the definition, the formulas. That's it. If you have any question, you can ask me.